9:16 here on the morning show with Jeff and Will on AM 1700 WRCR Haverstraw, WRCR.com. We welcome in Tina Traster, she the publisher of RCBizJournal.com. Good morning, Tina.
Good morning. How is everybody in sunny Rockland County?
I can speak for myself. I'm doing fairly well.
Good to hear.
Hope you are too.
Yes.
Good.
Unfortunately, I bring potential bad news, which is that Clarkstown may need to gird itself for a big financial punch as we are looking at the Palisades Center seeking 4 years of tax relief against Clarkstown. Now, that's been going on year over year, and Clarkstown has been rejecting it, and the mall goes to Rockland Supreme Court, and it's been sitting for 4 years, but now it is coming to a head. And the owner of the Palisades Center, Ecklico Pyramid, and the town of Clarkstown are due to face off in Rockland County Supreme Court later this month, late February, over this tax challenge. The Palisades Center basically is challenging 4 years of what it's calling, quote, illegal and inflated tax assessments. And if it is successful, it may be entitled to millions of dollars in tax refunds plus interest going back over the 4 years. Now, it's great having a large shopping mall like the Palisades Center when everything is optimally working, and mostly the beneficiary has been the Clarkstown Central School District as well as the town of Clarkstown with more than $20 million a year. It's been a good ride, but the winds have changed. 2 years of COVID, internet shopping, big boxes drying up, change of habits, and the mall not really being able to rebound at the same level has all led to where we are about to be now, what will go before Judge Amy Puerto here in Rockland Supreme. She is going to have to decide what is a fair assessment based on appraisals and based on what the two different sides have to say. We know that the Palisades Center is still, Lord & Taylor still remains and JCPenney are both empty. Bed Bath & Beyond left, and other big box stores also vacated the mall. Add to that, the mall for 1 year. It's been 1 year that the mall has been in foreclosure. Owing more than $400 million loan that's on the property. So what we're basically looking at is. Any questions so far before I keep going?
Nope, keep going.
Okay. So, as I just said, the mall had defaulted on its $418 million mortgage and has had to extend rent reductions and abatements just to keep the stores it already has. So it says that its value has been declining every year, and in 2023 it says it was only worth $155 million. We put a chart into the story that is running right now. The town has been raising the assessment year over year. And so while the mall says it's only worth $155 million, the town says it's worth almost, 2.5 times that at $578 million, $500 million. That's a gap. That's a very, very big gap that is going to have to be figured out in order to know what the mall is going to be paying, what they will be on the hook for, or what Clarkstown is ultimately going to be on the hook for. Now, this trial is set, as I said, for later this month, and each side is going to present its appraisals, valuations as experts, and Judge Amy Puerto is going to have to decide who's right. She may be looking at a similar case that has just been decided up near Albany. This is another pyramid-owned mall called, what is it, Crossroads? Hold on a second.
Are you talking about in Albany?
Yeah.
Yeah, Crossroads.
Yeah, okay. So this case has just wound through the courts up there. Oh, Cross Gates, I'm sorry.
Yes, Cross Gates, you're right.
Okay, Cross Gates in the town of Guilderland.
Mhm.
I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. I hope so. But Pyramid recently prevailed in its tax certiorari case up there in December, when the court ordered the 2019 tax assessment to be reduced by $24 million, okay? And then for 2020, the court ordered an additional $81 million reduction to $177 million. So I don't know what the final amount is that they're going to be owing as well, because there's two outstanding years so far, 2022 and 2023, and that has not been decided yet. So what we do know, however, is that Pyramids, for its Crossgates Mall, it made the same argument, that it's been hit by COVID, that it's had a dip in net income, that it has not been able to rebound sufficiently, and that it was entitled to a tax reduction. Similarly, at Crossgates, just like at the Pyramid, at Palisades Center, dozens of stores have left at the onset of the pandemic. Many never came back, and it's not. This is really going on. This is a national phenomenon. I mean, malls that are rebounding are reinventing themselves. They are adding different features. They are adding non-traditional mall tenants. They are knocking down, old useless buildings like the Lord and Taylor. I don't know, what that would be appropriate for, other than another department store. And there's no proliferation of department stores anymore. So I know that there's been talk about bringing residential, and I also know from behind what sources say is that there's resistance to adding a residential component at the Palisades Center. One way or the other, for the mall to become to have vitality again, it likely cannot just keep on doing the same thing that it's doing. It's going to need to shift, because it's got 2.2 million square feet of space. It's a lot of space, and if department stores are not viable anymore, or at least the number of departments, the variety of department stores that we once had in the in the retail ecosystem, if that's been reduced, the mall needs a different kind of tenant or a different kind of use, or to use its land differently to raise the taxes that it needs. And I think it's interesting to note that with the foreclosure, I mean, absolutely nothing has happened in a year. So it's I think it's kind of a nail-biting situation for people here in Clarkstown, especially the school district, because if we're looking at potentially $20 million just for the 2 years, I mean, we could be looking at a hit of $40 million over 4 years. That's a pretty hard number to get one's head around. And even if we say, okay, well, I guess the town will have to bond for that money, I mean, we're being kind of bonded to death here. Just to look recently at what that list looks like. I mean, the county garage, $40 million. Rockland Green with a new shelter, maybe up to $20 million by the time it's done. The BOCES now is looking for a $50 million bonding, and then specifically with Clarkstown, it's looking at another potential $10 million on the Grace Baptist Church with the Terrace yeshiva. So these are big numbers, for towns that are essentially small. And so this is a very serious story. I think that we will certainly be watching and tracking, and we'll have to see how this goes through the courts here, and what I imagine that maybe there'll be something that looks like a compromise, but I don't think Clarkstown taxpayers and the school district are indefinitely going to be able to escape the reality that the mall has just not increased in assessment, has not legitimately or genuinely increased in assessment year over year over year for the past 4 years, when you consider what the past 4 years have the challenges that have been thrown up at us. So I don't know. It's have you I don't know if you had a chance to have read the story before I got on the horn this morning, but I imagine that this will be something that people are going to try to get their heads around.
Yeah, no, this has been a case I've been following for a great number of years personally. I mean, I'm involved. I have clients within the retail industry, and I think one of the things that people need to be taking a hard look at, and I think they're doing that across the river over in White Plains, is the idea of adding residential components to the Palisades, to any mall. If you're taking these big box stores and they're just empty, and unless you make them an Amazon warehouse to make them into apartments, I think is a legitimate way to go.
Well, Lord knows, I think we have enough warehouses coming our way.
Maybe. Well, not if we don't have stores to shop in. You need the warehouses to deliver goods. So maybe it's a natural fit for them to become warehouses instead and just deliver the goods in a different way. But if you don't want warehouses, maybe an alternative is housing.
I think housing is the thing the county needs desperately, particularly affordable housing, millennial housing. Kind of seems like a no-brainer, but from what I understand, there's resistance, and it's not zoned for housing. So I don't know how this is all going to play out, but I think that it's at that pressure point where it's going to erupt and things are going to have to move one way or the other.
Thank you, Tina, so much for joining us as always. As people know, you could sign up for newsletters at rcbizjournal.com. Maybe you have another coffee with the editor coming up soon?
I haven't scheduled it yet, waiting for the cold weather to go by, and then we'll start that up again.
All right, sounds good. Visit rcbizjournal.com. We'll talk to you again next Monday. Thanks, Tina.
All right, bye. Have a great week.
Bye.